Permission denied for lack of proper application. RCB unilaterally announced a free entry victory parade on social media handles on the morning of June 4th. It led to massive crowd mobilization. An estimated 3 lakh people gathered in and around stadium. Stadium gates mismanaged by organizer. Crowds broke the gates. Poor communication, insufficient staffing and inadequate preparation led to the stampede. The report says despite being underprepared for such a surge, police acted swiftly and 7 officers were injured in controlling the situation. On the other hand, there was also a one-man commission of inquiry that was set up under Justice John Michael Dukunia, whose report was discussed in Cabinet on Thursday. So what did the report say? KSCA, DNA Networks, RCB and the police are responsible for the stampede. Despite knowing the event was unmanageable, all parties proceeded with it. Extreme negligence and dereliction of duty was evident. Several police officers failed to act appropriately during the key stages. Security arrangements at the stadium were grossly inadequate. Only 79 police officers were stationed inside the stadium and none outside. No ambulances were present at the venue. Now, on this, let me play out the bite of Dinesh Gundu Rao and P. Rajiv of BJP, and then I'll straight away go to my reporters to decode about these two reports.
No, let me see the report, and I don't want to jump to conclusions. Once the report is, we see it. See, this is not a blame game here. If there is some lacuna or if there has been some mishandling of the situation, who was responsible, we have to take action. That's why the commission has been appointed, and it essentially created a hue and cry, and the people died, and it was a national news, international news. We have to take action. So let us wait for the report, see what the report says. Based upon that, the cabinet will take a further decision.
What the stampede happened in Bengaluru is a very bad thing which has not supposed to be happened. It happened only because of the negligence of the state government. Though the chief minister and the deputy chief minister himself, they invited the whole Karnataka people to participate without making any prior preparation. So Michael Kunna report has been submitted. So in the sealed cover, whatever the report has given, court has observed that why it has to be kept confidential. It's supposed to be open for the people. People supposed to know what happened, what the negligence occurred by the government. This observation made by Honorable High Court. So I urge.
On this issue, I am joined by my colleague Gautam and Vajji. Two people who covered the event. Vajji was on the ground. Gautam was that day coordinating it from office, the news. Vajji, let me straight away ask you why both these reports have taken two different directions when it comes to police officers. Vajji, to you.
Well, Karthika, if you look into this report, it's a textbook example of two things. One is how everybody had a role to play in the entire mismanagement that took place on that particular day. And the other is how the government has washed its hands off from the entire matter, because in the Michael Dakuna report, the blame has been put on RCB, the blame has been put on the KSCA, the blame has been put on DNA, the event manager, and the blame has been put on the police officers. Yes, all these people are to be blamed for everything, because the RCB, they tweeted without having any plan in hand on how they will go about it. From 7 a.m. onwards, they started tweeting and inviting people. KSCA for not having clarity whether they will be able to do the show, how will they be able to manage. DNA because they did not have adequate security arrangements done, and the police officers who were already worked up because they were there throughout the day, and they were also responsible of making sure that the arrangements were done at the Vidhan Sauda and this thing, and that is why they did not have police forces. But what is more important is the government event that happened over there at Vidhan Sauda. The entire entourage that went to the airport with DK Shiv Kumar to receive the players, with DK Shiv Kumar flagging off the RCB flag all the way through the airport. The entire hue and cry that was created at that point of time, the entire excitement that was created with the DCM himself going all the way to receive them. Then the event happening at Vidhan Sauda. So the crowd that had gathered there had no clue whether they would have to go to Chinnaswamy Stadium, they would have to go to Vidhan Sauda.
No, Vajji, my question is, all officers are responsible, no politician is responsible.
That's the same thing. It's the textbook example of how government wants to just clear themselves off, acquit themselves off, and not to be blamed into anything. Because yes, the chief minister also tweeted about it. DCM also said, RCB, we are coming to receive you and we are going to pick you up. And now you go on to put cases against the players also. You're implicating players who played the entire tournament just to make sure that Bangalore finally wins the cup after 18 years, which was very close to everybody in Bengaluru.
Okay.
And now you are blaming them also for it.
Absolutely. Gautam, what's your assessment? Why is there divergence in both the reports? One. And secondly, do you think that people would really believe this? Because there was tremendous criticism on social media on the Stampede issue.
Absolutely, Kartikeya. And like you rightly pointed out, there are discrepancies in both of the reports, but keep in mind that 3 reports were submitted. Basically, the Karnataka government ordered a CID probe and then a judicial probe, that is by Justice Kunia, retired Justice Kunia, and also the third one was a magisterial probe by the Bangalore Urban DC. Now we have 2 reports that have come out today, which is one, a status report that has been given to the Karnataka High Court, and this report that has been submitted. This may basically this report shows that it is very personal now between the Karnataka government and the police, because one of the statements made by the state government here during the hearing was the police behaved like RCB's servants. This was the exact statement that was made by the state government to the Karnataka High Court itself. It basically argued that the police had the power to stop the organizers from carrying last minute plans, but they went ahead with it. But keep in mind that they were at all times coordinating with the Home Ministry, that kept the DPR informed about their concerns as well. It is a fact that they did not stop the event from taking place, but it is very much known that the state government and also the DPR was in the loop as well. And coming to the second report itself, Justice Kunia's report. Now, this is a damning verdict based on which now criminal charges are going to be filed, not just on the RCB, the DNA, KCA, but also the police officers who have already been suspended. One of them has already got a relief from the Central Administrative Tribunal. The state government has argued against the CAT as well, saying that this report doesn't take into cognizance a lot of the points that have been raised by the state government as well. So this is going to be very interesting over the next couple of days, because the state government is basically washing their hands of the entire issue here.
Okay. Vajji, how has this entire episode affected the image of the Siddaramaiah government?
Well, yes, Kartikeya, it has about a dent in the image, because they were trying to use this entire victory to get some limelight out of it, and what they ended up doing was completely opposite, because now because of all the involvement that they had into this celebration, because they were not required to interfere in the entire celebration. It was a celebration of the people, but they jumped into it because they got carried away with that momentum that was created. They got carried away with the fact that lakhs of people are coming, and there's lakhs of people who died, who suffered that day. The 11 people who died that day turned the entire momentum for them. Now people are unhappy with the fact that because of this shoddy arrangement, the government spoiled the entire celebration system for them. The government spoiled the entire power in which the RCB team won. So this has impacted the government somewhere or the other. Now with these reports coming out, and they are not to be blamed in any of these things, will surely affect the psyche of the people, because 8 lakh people landed up in Bengaluru overnight just to be a part of that celebration. 4 lakh outside the stadium, 40,000 inside the stadium. All these people saw what was happening over there. All these people saw that police presence was not there, but there was police presence as Vidhan Savda. There were all the cabinet ministers, family members of the government sitting over there. So this will surely be in the psyche of the people throughout, because this is not a scheme that the government has started. It was a celebration of a team that they have been waiting for 18 years. And this is something that will not be faded away from the mind of the government. They might forget a scheme. They might forget a promise that the politician has done and not fulfilled. But this was something very personal, and that will never be forgotten.
You know, I completely agree with both of you. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's an inflection point, but I can definitely say that this has actually created bad publicity for the government. Bad PR, bad publicity, and people know that this was a case of complete cross administrative mismanagement, and there is a section of public which believes that the politicians have got scot-free and all the officers have been, made scapegoat. And I think that's where the real challenge for this political or this government is, because they will need to set the clock back if they really need to repair the image, at least in context of this whole RCB issue. So this was on point 2. But we have a third on point. In the third on point, we look at the tragic death of a 9-year-old girl by heart failure after a short break.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर डायना प्रीमियम ब्यूटी सोप, पहली झलक करे खूबसूरत।
रास्ता है वही शहर।
तू कब आया अभी लाइफ से?
अरे वाह ताई, पहचान गई? शहर जाके